Hi, everybody, and welcome to this week's Be Free Friday. Amber here. It is the week of October 5th, I think. Friday, October 5th, 6th. Um, and I'm so grateful that you are joining me today, either via watching on Facebook or our website, or downloading and listening to the audio version on iTunes. Today, I thought we could talk about what it means to use our voice. Recently, my counselor said something to me about a situation that I was in, and she said that I didn't use my voice and that I needed to learn how to use my voice. And it's something I've been thinking a lot about because I don't think that anyone who knows me would accuse me of being quiet or being shy about speaking my opinion about things. But obviously, I've been in some situations where I have chosen not to use my voice and turned to other methods of dealing with things. And so I've just been trying to think about that a lot and kind of figure out what the balance of that is. What does it even mean to use your voice in the sense that I've been talking about? So as I've been thinking about this, I came across Psalm 29, and I thought I could read it to you. It's about the voice of the Lord, and I just found it to be really powerful and moving. So I'm just going to read you part of it. The voice of the Lord is above the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord above the vast waters. The voice of the Lord in power. The voice of the Lord in splendor. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord shatters the cedars of Lebanon. The voice of the Lord flashes flames of fire. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth and strips the woodlands bare. In his temple all cry glory. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned, king forever. The Lord gives his people strength. The Lord blesses people with peace. And there are some parts of this verse that really stood out to me about the voice of the Lord breaking the cedars and causing the deer to give birth, and all of it's just really intense. And so I've been thinking about, like, when in my life I've used my voice in a really powerful way that moved people or changed situations or whatever, just used my voice in a powerful way. And then, I don't know why, I suddenly thought about First Kings, when Elijah asked to see the Lord. And I want to read this to you too. This is Elijah 19:11. Then he said, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the Lord's presence." At that moment the Lord passed by. A great and mighty wind was tearing at the mountains and was shattering cliffs before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake there was fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire was a voice, a soft whisper. So I'm trying to hold these two things at the same time and not discount either one. The voice of the Lord being mighty enough to break cedars, but also the voice of the Lord coming as a soft whisper. And I think that I oftentimes want to have either or. The voice of the Lord is either powerful or it is soft and gentle, and I think sometimes they happen at the same time. I think a lot of times the most powerful moments that I've had with God was when I was sitting in stillness and experiencing the soft whisper of the Holy Spirit. And so it doesn't discount its power, even though it's soft and gentle. And a few years ago now, we did a podcast series called Be Bold and Conquer, I think it was the name of it. And we just talked about boldness and how the definition of boldness was not being dogmatic or being loud or being strong. It was actually to speak plainly. And we've talked about this a lot in the podcast. What does it mean to speak plainly? And how that's the definition of boldness. And so I've been really challenged by that lately. It's just been kind of coming up in my mind a lot more to use my voice and to be bold, but not in a dogmatic, I'm going to make myself heard kind of way, but to speak plainly and to stand firm in the truth of God, without feeling like I have to start swinging to get my message across. I really love Brene Brown's definition of authenticity. She has an authenticity mantra that she talks about in her book, The Power of Vulnerability. I would encourage you to read it. It's wonderful. But she says when she's feeling like she's not able to be authentic, or that she's challenged in that way of authenticity, she has a mantra that she says to herself, which is, don't puff up, don't shrink back, just stand your sacred ground. And I love that because in our conversation about boldness, I think that that definition of authenticity is extremely profound. And so this Friday, I want to encourage you to use your voice, to speak boldly. And what I mean by that is to speak plainly, to be authentic, and to not puff up, not shrink back, just stand your sacred ground. And to do that, it's going to require you to have a little bit of self-awareness and to take a pause in moments throughout your day. So when you are having a conversation with somebody or you're in a situation, I almost want you to think about it as removing yourself, like stepping outside of your body for a minute and have a moment of self-observation in real time. It's really easy for us to have self-observation after the fact when we're replaying a conversation in our head or before we go and talk to somebody, to have that self-reflection. But challenge yourself to have some self-reflection and self-observation in real time. And this is a practice that I've been doing lately. And what I have found is that I'll catch myself doing something in real time, and have to say, like, you know what, I need to pause right now, or I need to step away for a moment because I'm realizing that I'm not speaking plainly, or I'm puffing up, or I'm shrinking back. Either way, it's not true boldness, and it's not the voice that God has called us to use. The voice that God has called us to use is one of authenticity and beauty and grace and love. And so that's my challenge for you this Friday, is to observe yourself in real time and to speak with boldness, plainly, and don't puff up, don't shrink back, just stand your sacred ground. I hope you guys are having a good week. I love all of you. I have loved just being able to connect with all of you on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Remember, you can find us at Be Still Be Free at any of those social media sites, and we always love to hear from you. So please message us or leave comments. We will talk to you soon. Bye.